Give it another minute, and I'll start. All right, let's start. G'day guys. G'day guys, this is Sam from Trade to Prosper, giving another update, and this time it's going to be TrueBit as well as Bitcoin and maybe a few alts at the same time, but mainly Bitcoin and TrueBit is my focus at the moment, because I get a few YouTube people interested in it, so therefore it helps me out. So I'm going to keep doing that as well. I'm going long with TrueBit for a number of reasons, and I might just revisit that as well, just for those people who haven't seen the reasons for it. Anyway, so what we establish is that I'm just looking at observations and finding key levels of resistance. And what I derived from this is that this level is significant resistance and it's a channel. So, and the bottom, I looked at the bottom as a common factor as well. And so anything below this level should be scooped up. Okay, so if we're in the bear market, and whatever the price does, if it comes below this platform, it's oversold, and you should buy it. So that's number one. Makes good sense to me that it's aligned with this, and it's aligned with the Fibonacci, and it's aligned with key levels of support and resistance. Here we have support. I don't know if that started that way, and we've got a lot of confluence. So this was a range divided into 3 levels. This was accumulation. Similarly, I'm looking at this level as a range for accumulation, and if it ever drops below it, like I showed you here, it's a bonus. So and that's only occurred twice. So we had a double bottom here, and it's a good reason. Back in June 21, I wasn't aware of it at the time. I came into the picture around here, and I did see it as an accumulation, and I was fortunate enough to ride this out. So that's pretty much it from that perspective. Now, how we trade this moving forward. So let me just clear up a bit of this. We've defined certain aspects towards this. And what I've done is I've got a fractal that might play out, and I aligned it with these Fibonacci levels as well, or key support levels. What I've also done is, you can see here with the volume and point of control. So if I was to get this, just put it in there. So future reference, that's our point of control based on volume. So it's my methodology, and a lot of people use it. Nothing special, but it's good to know. So I'll just put that in red. All right. So the history gives us a way to set up our levels and see some confluence. And so I've decided that this is the 618, and sure enough, 618 plays a lot. It could be, if things were changed, I can always change this from Fibonacci to something bigger as price goes up higher. So it's a method that we do. Please share views on gold. All right, we can do that as well. So let's look at Fibonacci, true bit up close. And what I said just before is that we have 3 levels here. And what we have is this level. Let me just put in deep colors so you can see it. I'll make it white for now. And what I'll do is, it's going to be our approach. Okay, so if we lose these levels, it means that we come down to the bottom. So now let's look at it up close. Now the assumption is I'm using DEX tools, and I'm assuming that these prices are relatively good. There is a bit of confusion with true bit value. Some exchanges are a bit off. So I do believe this DEX tools that does give us a value. So if I look at this value right now, it's about 19.36 cents. And if I look at, where is it? Where we go? Give me a sec, and I'll find it. I thought I had it. Oh, here we go. No. Sorry, guys. Just give me a sec. Here we go. That's the one. So put there. So that's 19.66 cents. All right. Constantly changing. So this is matcha, and you can put some limited orders as well. So I'm playing with this. But anyway, so let's have a look at this. I got this bullish scenario. This bullish scenario is just a mindset. It helps me think. So right now, what we also have, if I move this line across, is the major resistance. If I was to move this line across, you can see the confluence in it, right? It comes to make sense. So we had on the bottom a nice pullback. We had our two touches to the bottom. So this is a daily. So we had a double bottom there. And once we break that level, the double bottom, and we did our W formation, we had some momentum. Now we get the resistance to the next level. I'm looking at this area as consolidation to move up to the next. So I do believe, just like in the past, we can potentially hit this level, which is about 26 cents. And then it's a major resistance based on historical values. This area support, so it's going to be a strong resistance. I would say take profit. Does this line up with Bitcoin? I do believe so. So I do believe Bitcoin's going to go up a bit more. It's going to hit its, I don't know, 24, 25K potentially. I don't know if that correlates to this or correlates to that. I'm not sure. So that could be an alignment and a move to the upside. So at the moment, we've got a bearish candle. That's a daily. We want to see what happens there. So we'll go into the smaller time frames and see if we can trade this. But just keep in mind, if it comes down here, so if this was to come back down here, we could also get a reversal. So we could get the 1, 2, and the 3 to the top side. Okay, this could be an extended. So we use Fibonacci extension, and we'll look at the levels. And similarly, this pattern did in the past. It does look like a trend, and then accelerated trend. So I don't think Bitcoin. I don't think this is going to do it. As long as Bitcoin goes sideways, no, not dropping the key level, the alt's going to keep going up, and I think. So we'll look at alt charts. We'll look at if this is a potential to keep going. I've got the Fibonacci extension here of 1, so that's my immediate target, and it's aligned with this level. So if you look in the closer time frames, it's probably a bit higher, but that's fine. This level makes sense to me, and I think that we can potentially come back down again, or if we do a nice break through it like this, we can potentially go all the way to the 1.618. So let's put the other two in there. Let's see where they are. Okay, so we've got that in there as well. So anyway, it's a line in the sand, and we're going to track it. Okay, this is as long as Bitcoin meets certain conditions and the stock market meets certain conditions, I don't think it will last long. And the question is, how fast would this require for it to move? Assuming this might just come down, like I said, it will be a nice dip to buy. So that would be, if I was you or me, 17 cents is a good 17-cent range is a good range, and we have support for that reason. You can see here there's a lot of support, and you can see that correlates to there. So that'll be a nice entry there to go long. Makes sense, doesn't it? We had a history there. This was capitulation. This also fits into the Wyckoff reversal, accumulation. So this makes a lot of sense. This is our automatic response. Now we're going to go ST, and then we go for this up thrust, and that might be the case where we stop and we just continue back down. So the bearish scenario is that we stop there, and we have this type of scenario there, and then we'll look at what else matches that. Okay, so this might just come back down. We need to think of different scenarios. So if that's the case, we might come back down and do that triangle formation. If Bitcoin was to drop down a fair bit, this will do the same. Would that meet the 17K or 15K or 12K? I don't know. So we're going to look at that. And it might be a case where we come all the way down here. So, like I said, these are gifts. Anything that comes down below that, take it as much as I would accumulate. Now that I've seen this confluence with this chart, I'm pretty happy that if it comes down to that level, just like that, I didn't take that. I'm really spewing, and look at that move. I came in somewhere around here, so I still didn't make it, but that was a gift. I don't know if we're going to get it again, so that's the scenario. Let's have a look at smaller time frames, just for the last bit. So I've spoken about the scenarios that could take out, and let's have a look at. Actually, let's see what we can do right now. And to do that, realistically, the problem is I'm cleaning it up because it saves it the way it is with Dex Tools. There is no versions, and so I want to keep it clean while I've got it. Okay, so let's look at it from a 4-day chart, a 4-hour chart. So what I have, this red channel now, right? Not a daily, but a red one. So this red channel, so far, looks like a broadening wedge to me. although the center makes sense and it's there. We've got that center. Let's actually just change that to a blue. And okay, it's just the lines. I thought it was a channel. Okay. I'm not sure what happened there. So that's my reference point. I don't know why there's no data there. Let me just flick it back to 2 hours, see if there's data there. It's a bit empty. That's weird. So my thinking is along these lines. We had our A. I don't know what happens there. There's a B, C, D, and that was our E, and we had this up thrust. And what we have right now on a smaller time frame is a sideways channel. And so the bottom line sort of works out, the middle works out, and I'm hoping this also works out there. If we do it so, it could mean that we broke it and we're just testing this level. So, okay, we've got a green candle. So that is support. That would have been an opportunity to go in, 20 cents. So yes, we're getting a bit of a movement. So the consolidation is taking place. How would you trade this? If it breaks this level, which is, if you want to play it with the breakout, the previous high, which is 22.6 cents. Yeah, 22.6 cents. You can, if we got A, B, there's not much data there. That's the problem. If that's our A, B, C, D, we've still got a bit more time in this range. That could be a good buy right now. And your stop loss is pretty much anything below this. Yeah, so your stop loss will be underneath these candles. If it drops back into it, it could potentially come down a bit deeper. It's not a good thing. Looking at that, this does look like it's completed a bottoming effect, and it's kind of trying to go up. So if it comes back down, it doesn't satisfy our wick off. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit weird. Okay, so yeah, I want to look to buying in this range. We've got a bit of time. That would have been the first buy. So that's 19. Okay, came down a bit lower. It would have been better. But anyway, so that we've got groups. So if it moves up, we go A, B, and a C move. After a wave, I think that's 5 counts somewhere there. And then we have A, B, C. We might have that initial pullback and then up. So I would take profit here. Definitely. It's the apex of this volume. So that is also a strong resistance. Take a bit. My job is to accumulate as much as true bit as I can. If this was a thrust up and we pass that level, then it will be used to be support and continue on, pretty much like this here. So I've drawn out these key support lines based on. So these bands, unfortunately. So let's check this out for a sec. I can, for the 4 hour, yeah, just get rid of that. So we're operating with those volumes as well as support and resistance. We'll see how they come. We've got Fibonacci and support and resistance, pretty much. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. This could be, if you look at this big structure, we have major resistance, we'll come back down, have another second major resistance, we'll come back down further, deeper, and then this could be the breakout level. If it comes down to here, great, like I said, it'll be great. but this could be just acting as support, and this fits into more and more strategies, which is the major trend line is established. If we break this trend line, then this is likely to follow this blue path. If we get rejection and it keeps getting rejected there, then great. Then we know it could pull back down and then go like that and up. That could happen as well. All right. So that's what I'm doing, and that could be potential. So this might play out, which is a descending wedge. Really depends on what Bitcoin's doing. So all right, let's move on. What's what Bitcoin doing? Okay. So Bitcoin, we've got the volumes. Now where we go. We've got the volume profile, and we've got clear levels of resistance, which is here. That's the neckline. And as soon as we drop that neckline, we saw price drop. This could be a nice entry to short, and I do believe this level to be support. So what we had is our, and I'll change the color for a sec. With Bitcoin, we did our PSY and then capitulation. So look at the wick-off chart. We got our sell and climax. We had our automatic response, right? So we're going to look at put a horizontal line there. This is going to be 1, 2, 3. This will be probably a good level or a double bottom. Still fits into the wick-off structure. So this is going to be an accumulation structure. I'm happy with that. Where are we going? And if I assist in that by just grabbing, give me a sec. I usually have a reference chart somewhere to make it easy for people to understand it. Okay, there we go. So what I'm looking at, right? So we're looking at this basic structure. Our PS is this level here. So the phases, that's a PS phase. Our sell and climax, which is that there. That's our sell and climax. We're having an automatic response. And we're looking for ST, second test. I'm not sure how far it can go. There's 4 different possibilities. So we can, like I said, we can have that. That's one possibility. The second one could be deeper. And that will fit into this model. Okay. There's a few variations to this. Sometimes the second test doesn't go there, it just drops back. So we don't have that top double test. We don't have that double test. Sometimes this could be the up thrust, and sometimes it's just a double top and comes down. So it's going to be interesting, this area. We can have the up thrust UT, and it will be this level where we get a nice short. That will be a nice short entry if that happens. However, we also know that double tops happen as well, and sometimes it doesn't. It just comes down. So there's variations on that. It will be good to see it come up to there. Volume is low. So we've got a volume divergence, meaning there's not much volume and price is going up. So let's chuck that volume indicator in there. As you can see that, ever since that the volume has been the highest here, and there's really no follow through. So what happens with low volume divergence, it's likely that when we hit a key Fibonacci level or key resistance, the volume's not going to help us and it's just going to drop. Okay, so That's the scenario that I'm looking at Bitcoin in the short term. There is three possible scenarios. Why is not getting that? Come on. All right, I'll touch it. Okay, I'll get rid of that. All right. So yeah, so I'll put my automatic response. My secondary test is probably here. Probably get a resistance. And I'm going to look at this scenario to play out. Phase. That phase I'm looking to play out, and that pretty much covers this first half. And then, depending on what it is, if it comes down to here, like there, and continues on, it's likely to be much more bullish. But the thing is, we've got to see it break that level and see it come up to this level or abouts. And then we can potentially see the bottoming effect and up. Now, if we pass this level, which is this here, there's only a few targets that we have really, and I'll show what they are. What is that? Okay, keeps doing that. I'm going to finish my template on that one. I'll chuck the other two. These are the ranges that I'm looking at. So if we were playing that range, then we're going to phase the second phase, and it works out the way it's supposed to, and it breaks above this. Then we've got, what's that one there? That's 25K. So we've got that as a secondary target. And I'll better put the Fibonacci values there so you can see it. And at the highest is 26, to tell the truth. Now, what confluence do we have with that? Well, if we enable our moving averages, so this is the 4 hour. So what we can do is enable sort of moving averages. Where's our 4 hour one? No, I don't want that. Okay, I don't have the 4 hour one there. Okay. Missing that. Put the. Oh, okay, here we go. Interesting enough. A lucid telling us there's downward pressure. Okay, that makes sense. I'll just pick you up that one. I didn't change the value. That's 55 weekly. No. I'm going to change this one. 200. And I'm going to put the chart. Okay, so that's our 200 moving average. And it's one of those ones that constantly play resistance. And we can see that as this goes sideways, it could potentially come in confluence with this range here. So if price was to come up or that way, we're going to see the 4 hour 200 moving average acting as a resistance at a key Fibonacci. So we've got two elements that will probably do the job. We've got this level here. We've got this, if you look at this chart, at the moment, ever so slightly, that one there is our weekly 200 moving average, that green one there. So it will be acting as resistance. We didn't quite make it. So what I can do, I'll bring that down to this level. And I'll probably adjust that to make that ever so slight. Now I just want to see if there's some confluence there. There we go. Yes, it does. The 0.5 still does the job. Okay. So that is the other one. And this one here is the, that's not the one, this green one here. And that's the EMA, 200 EMA. Okay. So 200 EMA weekly was support. And when we broke that, it capitulated. This 200 moving average hasn't had any role in it. It tried to, but it's dropped weekly. So this one could be still our resistance right there, which is 22.3. And so that is our top range. That's the top of our range. And we've got the bottom. And my guess is that we're going to have something here going on, whatever it is. We might get a poke above and then further downs. So we can have something coming to this resistance and back down, continuation. So we have that formation and sideways formation and then a continuation to the top, down. This could be a reversal, but I just don't see that. The reason being is this could be a reversal. I'm not ruling it out. I just don't see it because of the volume and the response. Other times there was more. Now, having discussed these scenarios, if I was to look at the SP 500, and here's the reason why I don't think we finished. It's amazing how it doesn't save the way I want it to save. I always have to do this. So if you look at, let's just maximize this one, and then we'll give you the reason for it. I can actually delete it because I'm not going to save it. Okay. So we had this crazy run up, and every crisis we had a significant pullback. Come on, what is it doing? All right, that one. Price range from there to there, we had a 57% pullback. Crisis, financial crisis, banking crisis, what you want to call it. From there to there, we had a COVID, and that was 35. Actually, let's pick the weekly because there's more charts. This one doesn't go back enough, unfortunately. That's a bit weird. Let's just pick out a chart that does the job. Where is it? Where is it? The market, there we go. Okay, we picked a better chart. That's better. So that goes all the way back to 1990 something. All right, here we had some crisis, 49%. We had the second crisis, 56%. For some reason, these would have been, well, that's a housing crisis, which also a lot of printing of fiat money and inflation and so on. And that climate, I believe, is the same in terms of quantitative easing. So if we push this, we would just lost so far, we only lost 23%. 23%, and I think the crisis is much worse than these ones. That one is 19%. And the COVID was, like I said, was something like, wasn't it 30 something? Yeah, 35%. I reckon if this was to go down to 50%, that makes sense. Very similar to these. This one's 56. That one is 49. Give it, whatever the case may be, it's still early days. And the way I see it, if I was to get a Fibonacci, dropping to this range will make sense. How it gets there is the question. Whoops. I've got a few charts there at the moment, and I do expect a bounce here, and then further down. And we've got our levels. If this was a target, then I can easily make that assumption and put my Fibonacci in there and look at this range. That's one method of doing it. And just look at that. If that was an assumption, it's already on the 618. So this could possibly, just by doing the reverse engineering type of thing, this could be the target. Like that we're getting the 200 and the 618, we should get a bounce. And if you look at my, so this is the weekly. If we looked at the daily, it does look like a potential reversal. Could be head and shoulders that we did once before. So we had this strong neckline. We also had it this way, I recollect. We had that as well, sort of head and shoulders. So there's a few key levels, and if this was to come up, so we also had this formation of some sort. Too many possibilities, really. And so this is a channel that could keep coming down. So if we get a bit of relief, could be there and further down, or it could be from here down. When can we go opposite? Right now. So if we do the Fibonacci extension, swing low to swing high, you can see that's pretty much close to the 1.618 as well. So you might drop a bit more or use this 200 moving average. Either way, we are pretty much close to a bounce area, and we don't see strength at the moment, not much. And if we look on the volume perspective, the volume's not impressive either. This volume was high. This volume is much lower. Even though it's gone deeper, it's actually lower. So with having descending volume, descending price, and there's not much here that's taken place in the past 2 days to think that it's anything special. So SP 500 is looking like crap. And if we were to look at, this is the NASDAQ on the bottom, it's doing something similar, nothing special, just having a bounce off the 200 moving average. So it doesn't give strength to Bitcoin, is the point. So Bitcoin, as I said, is this is being optimistic for it to go all the way up there. I'm just saying that's a luxury. So anyway, so that's my perspective for Bitcoin and Truebit. Let's see what it's doing at the moment. Okay, not much. Oh, it's gone up. Okay. Cool. I have a chart here. So FTT. These are good charts. Put a lot of work into them. Reversal top structure. we might be able to see FTT hit that level, that neckline, and that's where you got a short. If the candlesticks looks like, and we potentially go further down, there's that slight possibility that it could go break that neckline. So what I've done with this chart is clear lines, and that's a key level. And I think you'll come. I don't think you'll get that high, but you never know. So I got my key levels. If this breaks this trend line, the target's relatively easy to work out. From there to there, add it to there, it equates to that. Okay. And the other one is from there to there. Let's see. Hold on, that one's more realistic. Yep, so that matches up. So if I get that, reporting wedge, that's the target. The other target is the height of this, from there to there. So if I get that, yep, that also does that. So this might just come down a bit further down, find that Fibonacci as support, and then break up. So keep an eye on it, and you can short here if you didn't find the entry. No, I don't want to do that. Far out. It does look like a bit of a reversal structure. A lot of wicks there. This is the daily. Let's look on the indicator. Okay. So bullish divergence. That was a beautiful opportunity there. That was the last candle. So so it crossed over. That would have been that candle. The last candle would have been good. Anyway, so that's FTT. It hasn't really broken down like the rest, but it will. Once it loses this level, you can see there's not much history that's holding it up. Anyway, so that's, I do see it going down further, which represents pretty much a bearish market for a lot of the alts. That's FTT, Theta, found resistance there yesterday, and I think it will come down. That's best. That might be a good area to jump into. Although this will just range, not much there, but you can see it looks like I don't think it looks like a reversal until it comes down to this level here, which is about 75 cents. AVAX is I bought AVAX. It's not doing what I wanted to do. I thought it would continue on, find this as support, so it's not doing that. Let's go to the 4 hour. Okay. Actually, well, there's a few scenarios I want to talk about. Bitcoin. I didn't cover that. There's one or two scenarios. I want to cover those as well. Give me a sec. Get rid of that. I don't want to save that. Get back to my Bitcoin chart. Actually, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Come back to so yes, Bitcoin dominance is finding support here. Based on this RSI, we are seeing support. So it's going to be very sensitive. If this drops through, then we have much more alts going up. So that could be because Bitcoin is giving a clear signal that it's going ranging, and so the more Bitcoin ranges, the more likely the alts will come to this level here. I really got this wrong. I didn't think it would drop that hard, so I got that one wrong. I did expect resistance, but I thought there would be consolidation here before it went up. So this is a real alt move. Momentum is on support now, so that's pretty much support level, and we're going to see sideways for a while, but I don't know what that means. As soon as this RSI gets bullish divergence, and then we know that's going to go up. If there's none, or it loses that level there, then we can expect for it to further go down, which is the alts going up. So that's my Bitcoin dominance chart. It's very difficult to read. And the one I want to talk about is Bitcoin, two scenarios as well, which is sort of gives me an understanding what's taking place at the moment. Let me see. No, bugger. It's not the chart I wanted. Bitcoin charts. No, that's not the one. All right. So you can see how Bitcoin's finding support as well. Got that, we got that, and we got that. And each time we hit that, what happened is we find a relief, bounce, sideways, and then drop. This one was a bigger bounce, sideways, and drop. So sideways, up or down. I'm thinking down. And what we have also potentially a descending wedge that might play out. So if it was in a bullish scenario and this kept going sideways, hold on. We can find this trend line as resistance as well. There. We might find some resistance. If we break above this, if this could be the pivot point where it can go up or further down as well. And if it doesn't, then it's so we've got a big macro structure playing out, but we're not sure what it is. And if we look at the bigger picture on Bitcoin, well, I'm still bearish based on the stock market. Simple basics to me for the time being is it didn't quite reach the 0.5 Fibonacci yet. It's come to here, all-time high. I think that was it there. Actually, that might actually be the main resistance. So if I was to put that there, and get the magnet out. And we just put the red. That's an all-time high. At the moment, if you look at it, it's actually playing support. Okay. Pretty close, isn't it? If we lose that, I think it's going to act as resistance. So that makes things a bit more complicated. So all-time high, comes above it, finds a support, and I do see this line as well as a resistance, and there's a good reason for it, that trend line as I was saying. So that could be a resistance and back down again. That's what I want to see. I think that can play out, and it might go down there, pivot point. And we're talking about the 200 moving average as well. Anyway, so I thought I'd use that model. The other model, if we look at it, there's a few scenario models, as you can see. We can get the daily, and if we pick our channel, realistically, actually we need to get rid of the log. Let's do that again. So we do the top lines up, they all line up, and we get the bottom. The bottom so far line up there and there. So we've got 2 points. Where are we? Got support there. Got support there. We've got resistance there. So if we break this level, we can potentially go a bit more bullish than we expect. The trend line does give us a reason for it. Come on. So if we break that trend line anywhere, we can be a bit more bullish, because that's a strong one. That's got 3 touches. The 4th touch is likely to break through. It's also likely to be a resistance as well. 5th attempt, it might break through. So what do we have here in terms of A, B, C, D? We don't really have it until that's our A, B, C, D. Again, gives the case for a further drop. And if you look at the Fibonacci levels, that's my Fib extension 1. We found Fib extension 1 as support, just while the swing high, swing low, and then we've got this range here. That's not nice, is it? No, I don't think that's going to happen. Let's just fix it up in a different way. Okay, that's right. I've got the log setting. I didn't want that. That's more like it. So it's a 1.618 at the moment with that setting. It's actually a good level of support. I just don't think it's enough. All right. Another chart, our tether. Let's see our tether. Then I'll get onto the gold. Our tether is getting a rejection or ranging. So I'm looking at this potentially being slightly higher to find a resistance in this layer. That could be a bottom. So if you look at our tether indicator, historically, all-time highs and also all-time lows or reversals here are bottoms. So if I was to look at our Bitcoin price, that all these red vertical lines match our bottoms. So they've got a lot of confluence with this trend line here. So I'm thinking if tether was to come up to this level, that will be the bottom. I really like this alignment, that could be the bottom, because we had the bottom here. Actually, that not there. This one was the bottom, and this one was the bottom. This wasn't. That was a bull run, but still, it was a low point. And this was our right there. That was our top. That was our top. And I'm thinking the next time that could be our top as well, whatever that is. So tether-wise, that's a good indicator. Hello. Just selling it to anyone that's up there. All right, so tether gives us a good indicator as well. What do I... okay, just going through my charts. Anything... I'll clean this up. Yeah, so look, it's already getting a bit indecisive candle on the 4 hour. Bit of a rejection, I reckon. Whoops. The stupid cat's complaining. Yeah, so it does look like the rejection from that layer. This was a neckline. Anyway, it's a hard one to trade. At this point, you can't do anything. There's no trading opportunity there. I do have Solana. A bit odd. I do see this a boarding wedge as a good structure. Let's see what it looks like without the log. Okay. When to go bullish, when it breaks that, it could. Sometimes you just get these thing moves and then it comes back down. So a bit of a fake out back down, and it is realistically when you look at it, it's down. This I wouldn't be surprised that it went there and then back down, but it didn't. So they could have really done a good one, and that would have been a nice point to short, but it didn't happen. So this could go like that, and we might get a different version of it, a broadening wedge. And so if it uses as support, then we've got this left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and it'll be a nice breakout. So keep an eye on that. Could be a nice reversal structure coming in. And ADA, ADA's a bit different. It really doesn't make much sense to me at the moment, besides this descending wedge, and it's not really the best wedge because the connection, that would have been it there, and it's just gone sideways. So once it broke out of it, it's not. So this is invalidated. So what it comes down to is this descend. So it could be a spring level, and once it springs above it, this level here, I will go long. So if it breaks this neckline, go long, and that will be the next point there. That's my other strategy. Vet still. That could be a good point to buy and have your stop loss really tight. We've done that. IVX, we sort of did it. It's macro ascending wedge. You can see that trend line as well. So I do expect a bounce. Does it continue on? Don't know. But this level looks good. If we lose that level, this green line, it'll be good to short. But then we've got this level here. We've got a few levels there. Anyway, so we've got I'm looking at it from a number of angles. It's a real hard chart. AVAX against Bitcoin done a good bounce. And it's probably going to be a good time to short. When it gets a bit further up, I think it'll be a good time to short. That's a clear resistance level. And I think it'll come down. Either double bottom, we can do that, or further down. And we have some sort of wedge. Anyway, that's keep an eye on that one. Ethereum is not doing good rejection there. This is the daily, so Ethereum looks like a good rejection. and when to go bullish with Ethereum? Well, this line here with the RSI, when Ethereum breaks that line, I think that's when it's got its reversal. So it might just do that. So we're still not there. That's Australian dollar. Okay, it dropped. I have my stop loss there. So I'm stopped out. I'm into US dollars now. All right, Aussie dollar and tether, moonbeam. So it was a good option to short. I didn't get the chance to short that. Bummer. And Zil Maker. I think Maker is. Let's see what we have here. Maker. Yeah, I reckon it'll come down. I think but that's the neckline. You might have that opposite chance to break through. So keep an eye on that one. You can see that long-term trend line, but I think it'll come down more likely. But it does look like a bottoming effect. And that's pretty much it. So let's look at gold. So here's one of the questions. I'll bring out my chart for gold. I must have done gold a while ago. So gold is downward pressure, therefore, yeah, still downward pressure. Not much, but there's still downward pressure based on this indicator, RSI. So realistically, you want to go bullish on gold. This is the 3-day chart. Okay, we want to see gold get above the 50%. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, still below the 50%. So the trend hasn't changed. Number one, I had that trend line for a reason. So we've got this one here. It's using it as support. Okay, not sure why I got that one there. Okay. So clearly, this is ranging. Is it a topping formation? Yes, it is. Hate to say it, but it looks like a topping formation. And that's the neckline. It's not there yet. So I'll show you why I think it's gold is a topping formation. Get used to these Wyckoff charts. We had we'll do that here. Our BC, our automatic response, our ST, our up thrust. Right, so it looks like. Now the thing is, it can be a continuation pattern as well. So what we're seeing is this phase here now, aren't we? We're seeing this phase here, potentially. So we can see this going like that, of some sort, wicking up. Now there's two parts of this. One could still go trying to make that third one ever so higher, maybe a bit higher, and then back down. And the other model doesn't quite make it there. It makes up to probably here, and it drops. So I'm looking at that from a gold perspective. And if it was a continuation pattern, first it needs to come down to here. Wait a minute. If it depends when you got into gold, but I'll be looking to short there for gold. US dollar is going up. So we'll look at US dollar, but if US dollar is going up, this is why we're having it down, gold down. Good manipulation. So here was a topping off formation. So this is, like you can see, that was a slightly different scenario. He had those phases, but it didn't quite make it to the top. So you have that clear resistance. Here we might have that resistance here as well. So you can see that aligned. And this is a macro structure topping off. And it's like if we lose that level, it's likely to go down a fair bit. We've already reached this target. So if you look at this, that's inverted head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We've hit our target. I think this is how we did it. Hold on. Actually, this is okay. We've hit our target. So if I look at this from another perspective, so the target for this is in here. Actually, we can do it this way. Oh, I should have done that. We can look at, that's a neckline. We've dropped the neckline. that's target as well. So if we have, this is the, maybe that's the inverted head and shoulder level as well, that range. From there to there. I had this before last time. Okay. So what else have we got? Let's do this. $618 roughly. Golden ratio type of thing. Yeah, to me it's, yeah. So the 618 is, yeah, overextended. And you can probably say, okay, let's put this back further. And that sort of hits the 6.5. Okay. Let's just change this to non. Okay. That's a cup. Cup? Is this the handle? This is what I'm thinking. Long term wise, you can look at things in many ways. Come on, why is this not moving? Okay. Yeah, so there's not much in it really. Definitely resistance and definitely support. How much difference range in percentage wise from top to bottom? 16%, 17%. Okay. If I was into gold, I would short there or sell there at the top. And if it was to come down there, it's only 16, 17%. It's no big deal if you get it wrong. In other words, depends where you got into it. But if this was to break above, whoops. If this was to break above it, that would be a good entry as well. But I think it'll most likely, if you break above it, I think it'll come down more so. Need to look at indicators at the same time. So if we look at the 3-day, it's probably better. Yeah, I like to see it go above the 50% before I can ever be bullish. Yeah, there's no trend at the moment; it's just ranging, which tells me it's either a continuation pattern or a revert top. That's the hard part. You can't tell if it's a continuation because that is up thrust, and there's that possibility that it can continue on. Really depends on how the US dollar does. If the US dollar starts dropping, then I'll see this happening. If I see the US dollar doing the opposite, so if we split that and put our DXY chart there and put the 3-day, that's the 3-day. So far out gold's pretty much similar too, isn't it? Okay. So to me, this is a strong resistance. And yes, so dollar's been going up, gold has been going down and sideways. So until you see gold US dollar go down, you want to see it stuck. Come on, where is it? Okay, there we go. Come on, you crap! What the hell's going on? Can't see that. All right. Try once more. That's major resistance. If it comes below this level, So you might just do that for a while. So the US dollar can do that, which gives the market some time to recover. And then this goes up to the upside. This will come down for sure. We'll do the opposite. So keep an eye on that. Gold is definitely, US dollar is definitely going up. And stock markets are dropping. Definitely the US dollar will keep going up in index perspective because it's flight away from the stocks. So you need to correlate these two. I think US dollar goes up, gold will come down. And that's what I got at the end of the day. I think I'll wrap it up. I've pretty much went over my time period that I was planning to do. But yeah, please give me a like and share. And